Hi guys, welcome back for another episode of Where Stephanie Reads. Did I say episode? Anyway, back to my channel. And today I'm going to be doing another challenge for this week's Booktubeathon, which if you haven't noticed, I've been doing it all week. And I will be linking every single time there's a new challenge, I'll be linking it in the bottom description. So just so you know. And so today I'll be taking on the reading list. And for the reading list, I have to pretend I'm a teacher and create my own reading list for students to read. And also, as part of the challenge, you do have to pick at least one of the books has to be part of your TBR for the Booktubeathon. So I'm going to be getting started with that. The first one I'll be talking about is Scrappy Little Nobody. And why I would pick Scrappy Little Nobody is because I do think that yes, you can also read like lots of literature and also a lot of fiction and stuff, but not everybody's into fiction. And also, sometimes we forget that celebrities and famous people are real people, and we also like assume that like, hey, they're famous, they got rich, they don't know what they're going through, they never deal with what middle life is about. So reading about like a celebrity, like even Anna Kendrick, we learn about more about their background, things that we don't know about them that we thought we knew about them. And we also learn about their struggles and how hard they work to get to where they are. And not all of them are actually born rich. And they're not really, I mean, some of them are actually like childhood famous, so some of them, props to them, but she actually had to deal with her own struggles and she actually worked really hard to get to where she is. And so I thought it was also good. And she's also funny, and I think she's really interesting and very down to earth. And yeah, and I'm also a huge fan. And I think maybe reading something that's current, also based about a real person, a famous person that we know of, might get people interested in it. So that's one of them. Another book I would totally pick is The Hobbit, which is also one of my favorite books. And I think, which I also will admit that I also read in high school as part of this assignment, but since then I've been really into it, and they even got movies on them. And so I think like watching it and reading it at the same time would be interesting to the students. And also, since they're like hobbits and many uh, also wizards and stuff, they can actually play this game where they come up with a name and then create their own little area of the Hobbit Middle Earth world, and some people can be hobbits, some people can be elves, and I think it'd be really fun. So it can be like part of like their literature part of the class. Another book would be Star Wars, and you might ask why Star Wars, because it's not really that educational or anything, but it's really hard sometimes for non-readers to get really into books. And when you go to a literature class, and even if you love books, it's not really fun to be told what to read and when to read. And so maybe the first book should be a Star Wars book. And so it'd be like, hey kids, guess what we're going to be reading? The first book we're going to read Star Wars. And this is one of the good books to start with for Star Wars, called Heir to the Empire. It's really good. It takes 5 years after Return of the Jedi. And so reading a book about your favorite characters and space might be really interested and might start off the year on a good note. So that's one of the books. Another book I would totally recommend is, see, just so you know, I have like a bunch of books. Also, The Giver. I think this was a good book that also has a good message to it, and also for those that haven't read it, it's a really good book. I totally recommend it. Takes place like in the future within this like this small community where everything's like black and white, and everybody's like well behaved. Everybody acts the same. They wear the same nice clothes, conservative, and they're all taught the same way to how to think. And they also have no emotions, no love, no nothing. And they're kind of like robots, I guess, because they act all the same. And then so this boy, he gets his job as the giver. And the giver, he's pretty much like the keeper of memories of things that happened throughout history and things that people in this community don't know or forgotten. And so as he learns about it, he learns about life. And how to enjoy it, and things about like music, what music actually sound like, and the importance of memories. I thought it was a really good thing, and how being different is also really important. So I think that gives a good discussion piece throughout the book, and it's also kind of short. And so if you are worried about studying books, and so this won't take as much time. So it's a really good book. Another book I would talk about, Angels and Demons, and this might be really little bit questionable for some teachers and maybe even the principal and their parents, because it also the series tends to have some things with religion and some controversial sometimes things, and so I thought, but at the same time, this also teaches like about arts, and it has codes in them, and teaches history, and it also makes you want to travel and learn more a little bit about that area, and makes you want to go to wherever this place actually takes over. So I think enjoying history and art history is very important. So this is a good book. And the original is chunky, so not everybody might like being into it, but at the same time, I think it's a really good book. So, and it has short chapters, so they'll breeze through it. So another good book to read during school, I would say Looking for Alaska, just because if you've read it, you probably know what it's about and what happens in the end. But I do think that a book that covers like suicide and mental illness a little bit, and also questions about what happens after it happens and why, could actually, like, maybe kids could have good discussions about it. And I think it actually opens to dialogue. So I think it's a really good book. So, and who doesn't like a John Green book? It's also short, so it's really good. Another good book, which I just finished outside from my outside book before it rained on me, The Wave. And this is actually, I think, I actually never heard about this book, but I got it for free out of Freebin. And I wanted to bring this up because not many people heard about it. So this is a short book too. And it also talks about this teacher who teaches a class, and he talks about Nazi Germany and stuff. And so many kids were asking these questions, which leads him to help test an experiment on his kids to pretend that, he teaches them about experiment, but then suddenly it goes wrong. So I won't tell you what the experiment is, but it does cover like a lot about what it's like in Germany, and I think that's really interesting to teach during history class. So that's pretty much the books I got that I would like discuss in school. Let me know what you think about these books, and if you want me to discuss one in particular, like more in depth in a video later on, I'll be happy to do that. And I would totally, if you want to see me doing all the challenges and stuff, keep on watching and subscribe. And just so you know, I'll be on social media, so if you want to keep track of my progress and see my little vlogs that I make along the way, you follow me that, and my links will be in the bottom, so just so you know. And also, click on thumbs up if you like this video, and until next time, keep on reading.